Tim has a new toy that he bought at Costco.com. It's a drone. It has all kinds of cool features, but it's going to take a while for Tim to get comfortable using it. So today we just gave it a short test, and it turned out it was a bit too windy for it. It followed us for a ways and then hit a wind that was in excess of 35 miles an hour, and it just hovered. So we turned around and went the other way, and it still followed us, which was pretty cool. Well, someday we're going to add one to our toolbox. I think this will give us some great views to share with you. Robin decided not to join us today since we expect to return after dark. She really doesn't like night rides. Plus, it gives her a chance to go play with her girlfriends. I believe they're going to go gambling. Hopefully she wins lots of money. Tim and Donna, well, they were in their Can-Am Commander and showing me the way. I had the Villain all to myself. For me, well, yeah, I don't have Robin with me for company or to do the photography. We'll see how all this turns out. So we've been watching the race on TV or our computers most of the morning. So we got to see a lot of different machines at various spots along the 550-mile track from, well, the race starts about 50 miles outside of, well, north of Las Vegas and finishes about 50 miles south of Reno. And we're heading out to our spot near mile marker 537. So the race will almost be over. The final 13 miles. These guys are going to have to be really tired by this point. As you're looking at the terrain that we're driving over, most of it's pretty good, but there's spots, I'm not sure you can even tell in the video, where the ruts are a little deeper. There's bigger rocks that could cause damage at speed if you were to hit them. And I'm just wondering along the drive, what's this going to be like in the dark? I've never driven the Villain after dark. This is a first. Could be exciting. So Tim and Donna know the route. I have a rough idea, but it's been 2 years since I was out here and I wasn't driving. So they're doing the normal safety protocol when they approach an intersection where there's any possible doubt as to which way you should turn. They just stop and wait for me to arrive. Yes, we have radios, but the Villain has a very loud engine. So from time to time, I've discovered they were talking to me and I didn't have a clue. So stopping and waiting is the safe way to do it. That way, no one gets lost. We all come home safe. All right, we're at the races. This is, man, there's so many people out here. It's just crazy. And right over in there is the turn that kicks up a ton of dirt. That's my friend Tim. And here comes a bike. Not sure you can even see him. He looks pretty teeny on my screen, but there he goes. "550 miles of desert," and he's got about 13 more miles to go. We're at mile marker 537, and if you can see him, all right, here comes an ATV. Alright, so here's a panorama of the area where we're all watching one turn at the 537 mile marker for this race. And of course, the racing vehicles are coming from over there. But when we drove out here, we came in from over there.
these guys. And here they come. I'm going to eat some dust. Oh man, look at this. Holy smokes, look at him go. So this, I'd show you this guy over here, but he has a criminal record, so he's staying out. So it's just this guy, and he may be on the wanted list, but he's still going for it.
I have lots of firearms. Nobody wants me.
What's your address? Okay, so why have you been coming out here and how long?
I've been coming out here for
Okay, back to...
I've been coming out here for about 10, 12 years, and I raced this for about 10 years, and it's just a beautiful place to be.
And you keep coming back because this is the sport for wimpy people, or what?
No, it's you get to bring your rig out and pretend that you're a racer on the way over here, and then watch real racers, and then you can pretend to be a racer on the way home.
Okay, I will not. Man, another helicopter. Here comes someone just hauling butt, and he's got his lights on because it's starting to get dark. Look at that, we got 2 helicopters. Oops, here comes another truck. Those guys are... And you can see the hardcore guys. Well, maybe not. They're in the dust cloud.
So before we came up here, I knew that one of my headlights wasn't working, covered under warranty. It's going to get ordered and installed sometime after I get back. So in the meantime, my friend Larry, who owns a Villain, invited me over to his air conditioning garage, and with his assistance, we put on a light bar. And let me rephrase. His assistance, he did most of it. He knows what he's doing. I'm just there to be cheap labor. And thank goodness we put on the light bar, because as soon as I turned on the lights to head home, the other headlight had died. I'm sure they'll order that for us as well. But in the meantime, I have a light bar, no headlights, heading off into what will soon be blackness. How's this going to turn out? For safety's sake, heading into the darkness, I tried to stay as close to Tim and Donna's vehicle as possible, but the dust cloud was pretty intense at times. Now, I did drop the windshield down, so that helped quite a bit. Plus, when the desert gets dark, the temperature drops rapidly. But it also depended on which direction the wind was blowing as to how close I could stand to be. Sometimes it blew it out of the way and I could be really close. Other times it was blowing it straight at me and I had to back way off. So as it got darker and darker, I think I got further and further behind. But fortunately, they knew I had a hard time hearing on the radio because of the engine. So occasionally they would just stop and wait for me to catch up. As the sun was setting in twilight, that transition from daylight to dark, it got more and more difficult to pick a good path, and I think I was guessing more than I was seeing with the lighting that I had, which meant I had to slow down a bit. So where I might have been doing 40 or more on the way in, I was probably down to 25 or 30, and sometimes even slower if I got into the dust. It's going to be a long drive home in the dark. So my only lighting was that small light bar up on the bumper, which meant I could see maybe 100, sometimes 150 feet in front of me. So any speed required very fast reactions to avoid any kind of objects like rocks or ruts. So a lot of time I was going slower than I would have preferred, but my main goal was to get home safe and sound and not break anything. And the Staffords did keep stopping and checking to make sure I was still alive. Much appreciated. Suddenly, the roadway was lit up a whole lot better than what my lights were doing. It took a moment to dawn on me that in my dust, somebody was back there with lots of lights trying to get around. So I radioed Tim and Donna, and of course, they were having a hard time hearing me, but eventually they stopped. I caught up to them. We both pulled over, and this guy went past us and took off into the dark with so many lights. He was driving like it was daylight. He was just hauling butt. Lucky dude. So once the sun was all the way down and it was really dark, my lights did a nice job of lighting up the roadway in front of me. Again, I just had to keep the speed down so I had enough time to react based on how far ahead I could see. And stay out of their dust, because when the dust got too thick, it was like driving in a thick fog. I couldn't see anything. A couple times I had to come to a complete stop. But again, I had the windshield flipped down. Uh, it was a pretty nice ride home, actually. A lot of fun. And I'm thrilled that Robin was not with me, because I guarantee you there would have been no screams of happiness on this ride. It was dark. As you can see, there was a full moon, but it didn't really light up the trail based on the terrain that we were in. And it was nice. Once again, the Staffords were waiting to see if I was still alive. And we got closer to town, you could start to see lights on the horizon. That's the city lights. We're getting close. And of course, it's getting darker and darker. Well, one of the great things about driving in the dark is you can see people coming, especially in front of you because of the headlights, behind you, but my dust cloud did make it harder to realize what was going on. So we are getting close to the end of this ride because you can start to see the city lights more clearly. We're almost back to the parking area. So those tail lights up there in the distance, not very far away, that's Tim and Donna. They've already made it to the parking area and they're just waiting on me to show up. So from the parking area, it's just a short drive on asphalt back to home. What a great ride.
Well, that's it for this recording. Use the comment section below if you want to share your experience at this location or maybe recommend an area that you really enjoy. Please keep it clean. I want this to be a family-oriented channel, so review what you type before you submit it. Thanks. I apologize if you happen to hear something during the ride's recording that may not sound family-oriented. I will try very hard not to let certain words slip out during an exciting moment. We'll see how that works. If you found this video helpful or just enjoyed it, please hit the like button below. Share the link with your friends. Be sure to subscribe so you can easily keep up with my latest videos, which will continue to cover things like Segway Villain owners' area of interest, reviews of accessories, where to ride, tips about the villain, how-to videos, and lots more. Yep, there's going to be more. Thanks for watching.